Guys, all right, now we're going to talk about the muscles of that move the head and the neck. If I can get us centered here. Okay, all right, let's get going. All right, jumping right in. So our muscles that move the head and the neck. So our muscles are grouped as follows in this lecture. Muscles that move the head and the neck, then muscles that move the head, neck, and trunk, and then third we'll talk about muscles that move the head and trunk specifically and do not act on the neck at all, and that will be Muscle Lab 1.4. And sorry for the bang in the background. We got some heavy duty playing with some. What are you playing with over there, Zach? You got some Megatron, the Transformer. Watch out. Zach prefers the villains in most shows because he empathizes with them, I think. All right. So muscles to move the head and the neck. We've got muscles in the front of the neck. Those are anterolateral muscles, so anterior and lateral in the front and the side. Those flex the head and or the neck. Our posterior muscles extend the head and or the neck. All these muscles can also rotate the head, depending if you're contracting one side, some of them can help to rotate, or laterally flex, depending on which one we're talking about. So, our sternocleidomastoid, you can find this muscle on your own neck right now. If you put your hand on it and then kind of turn your head from side to side, it's that big muscle that kind of bulges out. Its origin is on the sternum of the clavicle. So, origin right here on the sternum of the clavicle. Its insertion is on the mastoid process of the temporal bone. That's that back of the kind of those large things that kind of poke out of the base of your skull. We found those out and learned about those in our skeleton lab. And now look at us. We're using our knowledge because we're all geniuses. It's wonderful. The action of the sternocleidomastoid unilaterally only contracts the right or the left side. Sorry, when we're doing something unilaterally, if we've not talked about this in class already, a unilateral contraction, buddy, quiet down just a little bit. We only contract one side. So with the sternocleidomastoid, the way it's where it's located, the way it attached to your clavicle and scapula and the back of your head. If you contract the right side, your head's going to turn to the left. If you contract the left side, your head's going to turn to the right. And that's because that muscle, as that muscle gets shorter, it spins your head around to the opposite side. And we'll have a video here in a sec. It can also flex our neck laterally or bend it over to the right or the left. So if you take your ear and bring it down to your shoulder, that's lateral neck flexion. And whether it rotates or flexes your head to the side depends on what other muscles are working at the same time. When we have bilateral contraction, when both these contract, we're going to flex the neck. That means you're going to nod your head up and down. Not going to rotate. So taking a look here at our sternocleidomastoid, right there, you can see this is quite a large muscle, base of the skull down to the clavicle and the top of the sternum, the manubrium, right? Again, here's our sternocleidomastoid from a straight up anterior view. Okay, let's take a look real quick at where it's located. Look at that. And I realized, guys, this looks a little low tech, but it was the simplest, easiest to follow one I could find. So we're going to use it and see how it works. Here's our sternocleidomastoid surrounded by a bunch of other muscles. It's somewhat superior to the other muscles in your neck. It's in front of them. We have the scalenes, which we're not going to talk about for lack of time. The pectoralis, serratus anterior, and external obliques, which we'll cover in later lectures. Here's our sternocleidomastoid. Again, we can see that muscle right there. And then there it is again, as we kind of get further down. All right. Now back to our PowerPoint. Moving forward. Okay. Now let's practice moving our sternocleidomastoid. Here we go. So I've got some YouTube videos in here that should help us a little bit. Oh, Microsoft Explorer. I thought you guys would appreciate that. All right, let me take Michael's volume down there a little bit. So if you can see, when he shakes his head to the right and the left, that is going to be using your sternocleidomastoid. I thought we could do a little office break there. Okay, YouTube, we do not need any kind of content here. All right, now for our actual demonstration. Oh no, hold on. Okay, sorry, little YouTube in the background went a little crazy. So let's jump right back in here where we're at before. Okay, so when the right sternocleidomastoid contracts, your head rotates to the left. When the left one contracts, your head rotates to the right, like our picture. And if we use them both at the same time, we're going to nod our head down nod our head down and bilateral neck flexion. So you guys can practice those. You're doing great. I can just tell we're doing awesome. All right. Now, what about those posterior neck muscles, the one behind you? So the posterior neck muscles are the ones on the back of your neck. So put your hand back there. You'll feel your trapezius, and the muscles that are working on your neck are also are going to be located below the trapezius. So bilateral contraction, we're going to extend the head of the neck. So if you kind of have your head in a relaxed neutral position, if you contract those muscles, your head goes behind you. If you contract one side, you're going to turn the head or the neck to the same side. That's just because the orientation of where those muscles are. There are 4 muscles that are in the back of the head that are going to help to move the head and the neck. The splenius capitis, also the splenius cervicus, the semispinalis capitis, and longissimus capitis are also part of the erector spinae group that move the head, neck, and trunk. We'll cover those up when we cover head, neck, and trunk in a little bit. If you can just identify where the splenius capitis is and what it does as far as these posterior muscles go, we're going to be happy about that. So there's your splenius capitis. It is this kind of large, thick muscle right here. If we take a look at it online, let's see what's up. Okay. You can see here's your splenius capitis muscle. So if you take a look at what the muscle looks like here in the picture, and you see here is your sternocleidomastoid muscle right there. Then here is your trapezius muscle. Let me actually put here's your trapezius muscle right here. The splenius capitis is a small green one that's underneath. And if we click through to view 2, we can see that muscle is really quite large and actually extends all the way down to the thoracic cage to the 4th rib. Okay, so it's doing some serious business. And then you've got your splenius cervicus and semispinalis capitis. Sorry, your splenius capitis right here. Semispinalis capitis is also included. So we can see that muscle. It's quite large and has a lot of power to make the movements that it makes. There we go. All right. Let's get back to our PowerPoint and continue on. Okay. All right. So now our rotation, okay, the rotation movement's the same. It's just the muscles on a different side. And neck extension is when we have our head straight up and we bring it behind us. We all can do that. All right. So this is a short one. That's all right. Jump on over to Canvas. There's a little short assignment that specifically accompanies these PowerPoints. And for your identification assignment, you're going to be completing the spreadsheet that I'll upload for you, and that's going to be used across all 3 of these PowerPoints.